Hello, my name is Ryan Hunter, and today I want to share with you a leadership case that is deeply personal. One that has taught me that sometimes the hardest decisions define us more than our greatest victories. This is the final stretch: leadership, injury, and integrity on the track. At a defining moment. Picture this: you're at the peak of your athletic career, you just won a conference championship, broken multiple records, and are ranked 22nd nationally. Then on your final throw of the year, the one that could push you even higher, you feel something tear in your elbow. In that moment, I faced the hardest decision of my athletic career. Do I risk permanent injury for short-term glory, or do I go for the long game? As I learned, this injury isn't just a period ending my story, but a comma teaching me that leadership isn't just about winning when everything goes right. Early challenges against all odds. Let me start at the beginning, because my journey to this moment begins with obstacles that could have ended my athletic dreams before they even started. At age 2, my mother noticed something wrong with me. I had a very limited vocabulary and rarely responded when she called my name. After visits to multiple doctors, her intuition proved correct. I couldn't hear properly. Surgery at the age of 3 corrected my hearing, but then began the game of catch up, in speech, school, and everything else. My kindergarten teacher told my mom I scored on the 25th percentile for motor skills and I couldn't even hop on one leg. Her suggestion was that I needed to have some rough and tumble play in the front yard. This is the foundation that built my athletic career on. Athletic beginnings and finding my speed. My first hint of athleticism came at age 6 with the YMCA swim team. I never finished worse than second place and I always swam up with the older kids. Then came baseball in 3rd grade. My coach's instructions were simple. Ryan, when you get on base, just run. I was never thrown out stealing bases, and Jackie Robinson surely would have been proud. In high school, I placed second in the all-city meet in the 50-meter freestyle, but baseball remained my first love. I was the varsity team's main pinch runner, running around the bases, stealing every base I could touch. But I never imagined this speed would eventually take me to the NCAA competition. Journey to FMU track. I came into Francis Marion in 2021, focusing on supply chain management and later economics. Watching the COVID-19 pandemic reshape our world, I thought my athletic competitive days were behind me. It wasn't until my junior year that a friend from church suggested that I try out for the track team. I'd never done track before and didn't know if I'd be able to handle it being a student athlete again, especially at the college level. But sometimes the best decisions come from saying you only live once. When I met Coach Blumen, he asked what events interested me. Thinking I was pretty fast, I obviously chose the sprints. And when I told him that I also played baseball as an outfielder, he suggested I try javelin as well. That suggestion changed everything. First season and starting from scratch. I immediately fell with track's individual nature. Whoever works harder wins. My first meet was at the University of North Carolina Wilmington, a Division I school, and that brought serious nerves. The results came quickly, as my 100-meter time was 11.28 seconds, finishing 13th place, and my 200-meter time was a time of 23.51 seconds, finishing 22nd place. But javelin surprised everyone. My first ever throw, I recorded a mark of 49.19 meters, automatically qualifying me for conference and earning me 5th place at the meet. After that, everything clicked. Back-to-back javelin victories. I shattered John Schaffner's 38-year-old school record with a throw of 53.27 meters and tied the 29-year-old 100-meter record with a time of 10.86 seconds. I had won the 2024 Male Track Athlete MVP award and was ranked number 1 in the conference for javelin heading into the championship. The 2024 failure and a defining moment. The Conference Carolina Championship was in Myrtle Beach, and I was the favorite to win. I thought it would be easy after 3 straight wins, but I never felt this kind of pressure before from my coaches or teammates. I had choked. I finished 5th place with a distance of 49.05 meters, which was my worst throw all season. I'd become the first FMU track and field athlete to ever score at Conference Carolina Championships, and everyone said I should be proud as I am a first-year athlete. But no one gets credit for 5th. I felt like I'd let everyone down, and most importantly, I felt like I let myself down. From that day, I made a promise to myself: never again. This failure would become the foundation for everything that followed. The summer grind, building excellence together. That summer, My teammate Andrew and I made a pact. We were going to commit to javelin and do whatever it takes to be the best. As soon as we got money from our internships, we split the cost of 2 javelins and went to work. 3 times a week, every single week, after work or on weekends, we'd head to the University of South Carolina's track. The only exceptions were vacations or pouring rain. Even then, if one of us couldn't go, the other always practiced. There were days where we would get off work facing 100-degree weather, and the very last thing we wanted to do was go throw javelin. But we went anyway. I believe these days are the most important times to show up. Accountability and growth. We held each other accountable through goal setting. We measured distances every few weeks, hitting 55, 58, and then eventually 60. These small wins kept us going through tough days. Teaching each other built team cooperation and made us better athletes and mentors for future recruits. As a Christian, I believe God does everything for a reason, and looking back on that day, I believe that if I hadn't lost at Conference Carolina, I wouldn't be in the position I am now. I feel like God used that failure to teach me humility and to trust in the process. The 2025 redemption begins. I opened up 2025 where I first started track at UNC Wilmington, but this time I came to win. My first throw of the year, I had a mark of 58.2 meters, shattering my old record by over 5 meters, and then my very next throw, I hit a mark of 59.55 meters. I finished the meet in second place overall, but I qualified for the NCAA Division II Championships and was ranked 5th nationally coming out of the meet. At the Shamrock Invitational in Myrtle Beach, the site of my 2024 failure at conference last year, I faced Division I schools like Coastal Carolina. My 4th javelin throw of the day, I hit a mark of 60.76 meters, breaking my old school record and securing 3rd against superior competition. My redemption story was taking shape. A historic home meet. The FMU Patriots Invitational was something truly special. It was Francis Marion's first home meet in over 30 plus years. Friends, families, and even professors filled the stands. My 6th throw of the day reached a mark of 63.48 meters, winning by over 22 meters. In the 100-meter prelims, I ran a time of 10.67 seconds, breaking my own record. And our 4x1 meter relay team with me as the anchor set another school record with a time of 41.73 seconds. That day, 7 school records fell, and we looked around our new stadium and realized we weren't the same old FMU track and field team anymore. My performance ended up earning me Carolina Conference Field Athlete of the Week, a first in FMU track and field history. Awards and recognition. At the Athletic Gala, which celebrates all student athletes' accomplishments, I heard rumors about me being in contention for Male Athlete of the Year. By the ceremony's end, I had won 2 awards, the 2025 Male Track and Field Athlete MVP, back-to-back MVPs, and Male Breakout Performance. I was later also named to the NCAA Division II All-Southeast Region team for javelin for coming first place in the Southeast. But while receiving accolades was nice, I remained focused on one goal, and that was the conference championship medal and a spot at nationals. Everything was building towards that moment of redemption. Championship week, 3 days of destiny. The first week brought me back to Myrtle Beach for redemption. I knew I needed to stay in the top 22 nationally to compete at the NCAA championship in Colorado. My family had already saved the date. Day 1, the 200-meter dash, I needed to beat my teammate Jalen, who had broken the record earlier in the year. I gave everything I had and ran a time of 21.89 seconds, which is a new school record, and I now hold all records in all my respective events. Day 2, the 100-meter dash. Coming into the conference, I was ranked 18th in the and I wasn't expecting to win. I ended up maintaining that rank with a time of 10.82 seconds, and I'm just happy that I didn't drop. And then day 3, the championship throw and injury. The javelin championship, I barely slept the night before, replaying scenarios endlessly. Hot, sticky weather greeted us with no wind on the runway, and I opened up the day with a throw of 62.24 meters, taking the lead immediately. My 2nd throw, I did even better with a distance of 64.3 meters, which was another record, which secured me 22nd in the nation at the time, and making FMU history as FMU's first male conference champion. but I wanted to push deeper into that top 22 list to lock down nationals. On my final throw, I sprinted, planted, and launched, and that's when I felt it. A sharp tug on my elbow, which felt like Velcro peeling from bone. The spear landed around 60 meters, which was useless for my rankings, but I ended up throwing 6 consecutive 60-plus meter throws, but my arm buzzed like static. The critical decision. Days later, I went to the trainer, which examined my arm, and they said, if this were March, I'd shut you down, get imaging, rehab, and see you in April. But it was already late April. Last chance meets were less than 2 weeks away, so she wrapped me up and left the decision to me. My first thought wasn't about nationals, it was about how do I tell Coach Blumen, who had trusted me to lead. After consulting my coach and parents, the options were clear. Option A, throw at last chance meet, chasing rank, and maybe tear my UCL and be out for a year. Or, shut down this year, accept 22, and maybe get bumped out, and start rehab for next season. Choosing integrity over glory. My dad said, health first, championships come and go. My coach agreed. He said, if it still hurts before the meet, we're done. But I needed to hear a prayer from God, so I prayed the simplest prayer, your will, not mine. Days later, I tried an easy 3-step throw, and pain shot to my bicep. Decision made. I texted Coach Blumen to scratch javelin, and my national dreams disappeared in one click. People assume ego was the hardest part, but it wasn't. I'm the hardest on myself than any other critic. The real battle was about letting my team down. Leadership through adversity. Every teammate said the same thing. We're proud of you. Coach told the freshmen that my decision showed real leadership, choosing the long game over the short-term glory. I realized that injury wasn't the end of my story, but it's just a comma in a long sentence. The 2025 NCAA championships came and went, and I ended up finishing 27th nationally without competing. It would have been easier for me to accept if I finished 40th. But staying visible, encouraging teammates, and maintaining the culture we'd built together. But I'd stayed visible. Current future focus and future vision. Today, I work out 6 times weekly and rehab 3 times weekly. Day band exercises test my patience more than 240-meter repeats ever did. But had clear goals: to break 70 meters next year, make top 8 at nationals, and bring 2 teammates with me to the podium. If a freshman were to ask me about leading through injury, here's what I'd say. Don't disappear, stay visible, encourage others, use downtime to study what went wrong, and ensure it never happens again. My season didn't end how I wanted it, but maybe it ended how my teammates needed it. OB Insights and Leadership Frameworks. Reflecting through organizational behavior lenses, several key frameworks emerge. Coach Blumen demonstrated situational leadership, adapting his coaching style based on what each athlete needed in the moment. Andrew and I applied goal-setting theory during our summer training using specific and measurable targets and accountability systems. The injury decision exemplified ethical decision-making frameworks, weighing competing values, stakeholder impacts, and long-term consequences. Most importantly, the trust we built created psychological safety, allowing our team to take risks, fail, learn, and grow together. These principles directly translate to business environments where leaders must balance performance pressures with ethical choices. Personal reflection and faith. Throughout this journey, several truths become clear. I learned that leadership means staying present even when you can't compete. I'm often my own worst critic, but that self-awareness has become a big strength of mine. Most importantly, my faith has anchored me. Romans 8:28 says, "And we know what in all good things God works for the good of those who love him." This kept me grounded through triumph and adversity alike. Case learning objectives. This case is designed to help you develop critical learning competencies that you'll face in your career. First, ethical decision-making under pressure. How do you make the right choices when stakeholders, timelines, and personal goals conflict? Second, leading through adversity. Maintaining influence and team cohesion when you can't directly contribute. Third, building accountability cultures. Creating systems where team members hold each other to high standards. Fourth, balancing short-term performance with long-term sustainability. And finally, understanding that integrity isn't just about big moments. It's built through consistent choices that define who you are as a leader. Integrity over glory. True leadership means playing the long game, making decisions based on values that don't have immediate opportunities. Sometimes integrity matters more than immediate success. This decision to shut down wasn't the end of my story. It was the beginning of a new chapter. In business, athletics, and life, we all face moments where we choose between short-term gains and long-term integrity. I encourage you to choose integrity every time. The scoreboard may not show it immediately, but that's the choice that builds lasting success and genuine leadership. Thank you for listening to my story.